when lies are idolized. In last week's meeting, Daryl stood at the podium and berated us for our Facebook group. He claimed we were dishonest, only provided partial information, and failed to tell the whole story. Sound familiar? O'Neill came instantly to mind. He too was asked to deliver a speech at the podium and provide a more palatable version for the management committee relating to an incident in the gym. He was introduced by Bandler, who asked him to explain about the incident in the fitness centre. Just like Daryl, he stood at the podium and accused me of not telling the truth for what I posted on Facebook about the incident.
We had a situation in the fitness center, O'Neill. You want to explain it?
The footage show this female subject was in the security officer's personal space. The security officer felt threatened by the female subject behavior and alerted the security supervisor that the security officer was just doing his or her job. But what makes me extremely upset is the false Facebook post regarding this incident.
WCC's security employee had called the police claiming I'd put my hands on her. The police report had the word battery. When the police officer arrived, he told me he had come to arrest me, but when he spoke to the security employee, she admitted to him that she had lied. The officer spoke to O'Neill, who stated that the employee would receive counselling for lying. The officer changed his report from battery to nothing physical and employee will receive counselling. In true Winmore fashion, facts don't count. If they have a message they want to deliver, nothing will stop them. Certainly not the truth. After O'Neill delivered his diatribe, we requested to see the video footage that would prove who was telling the truth. Was O'Neill lying or the police officer? Think they produced a video? Yeah, sure, along with all of the bank statements. When an administration is prepared to have an employee lie to residents, contradict a police officer, we have moved to dangerous ground. This incident with O'Neill and Bandler was the barometer for what was to come. Facebook has become the bane of their existence. Anything posted that contradicts this administration is subjected to their wrath. Whether it's a false stalking charge, false forgery accusations, false claims of lying on Facebook, engaging employees to change the narrative, and retaliatory frivolous lawsuits where Bandler, Rayleigh and Arnold claimed on court papers they could not provide documents because they were not in possession, custody or control. Is there anything they will not do to protect themselves from the truth? What happened to basic values like transparency, honesty, truth, integrity, ethics and kindness? Why is asking where your money is such a contentious issue? Why is it met with aggression and threats of lawsuits? Why is it not met with openness and a willingness to allay any fears you may have? Why are the books not open to anyone who needs reassurance that their money is well looked after? Why all this hostility, anger, insults, accusations and lies? Why so much effort directed against anyone who questions them? Why is there a them and a we? Why are we not one team with the same values and worldview? Why are owners treated with contempt instead of kindness? When did accommodating owners become a power struggle? Is this all done to silence the truth? The irony is that Bandler chose O'Neill, his chief of security, to do his dirty work, a man caught on camera and admitted to burglarizing your home and stealing your cars. He was the chosen spokesman for the truth. Listen to Daryl do the exact same thing. He too accused us of posting lies on Facebook and offered a more palatable version for his handlers.
and that is Facebook. And overall, what I want to communicate to people is, please don't believe everything that you read on Facebook. Yeah, please don't read everything that you believe on Facebook. And I want to say that even when there may be some facts that are posted on Facebook that may be true, they're leaving out a lot. Okay, and that's the important thing to understand, is that are people necessarily lying with some of the things that they say on Facebook? Well, no, there may be some facts they got right, but when you're leaving out a whole lot, it's not telling you the whole story. And what they're doing is trying to guide you to just believe something that in the end absolutely is not true.
Oh no, Daryl, not you too. Which facts were left out? What partial story was given? And what were residents guided to believe that was absolutely not true?
And I've seen this specifically. These issues are directly involved with irrigation systems. And what I want to do is basically just let you know that a lot was left out there. And I think it's important to understand that in the examples that have been cited, this is an example of something they leave out, they ended up spending a lot more. They ended up spending thousands of dollars more in the long run by not doing what we had suggested that they do.
Allow me to introduce you to the truth. Here are the invoices we spent on fixing the irrigation and the pump after being told a new pump was required. WCC quoted $9,407. This did not include WCC missing the fact that the issue was with the wires, not the pump, which would have cost an additional amount. There was nothing wrong with the pump. Who knows how much more it would have cost to fix the problem? We got it done for $1,645, a saving to the owners in excess of $7,762. We only had to replace the pump 2 years later. Jeffrey sent a snarky letter accusing us of getting a patch job and if we would like him to replace the pump. WCC again quoted over $9,000 for a new pump. Our president got it replaced by an outside vendor for $3,100, including a Wi-Fi rain sensor, a third of the price. Even if we added $1,645 from the time the wires needed repairs 2 years before, there was still a saving to the owners of $4,700, and that didn't include the amount WCC would have charged for the broken wires. Pump for pump, WCC wanted 300% more. So, Daryl, where did the owners land up spending thousands of dollars more in the long run? Had we listened to what you told us to do, owners would be out of in excess of $5,000, and that is not counting finding the source of the problem. How many thousands would that have cost them? You see, Daryl, numbers don't lie. They also don't give half a story or leave out what is important. Numbers tell the truth. What about you?
They still don't have a new pump station. And they spent thousands of dollars more.
What? Why would you deliberately tell the owners something that is categorically false? Everyone, please go and check for yourselves. The pump is there. We paid $3,100 for it. We paid thousands of dollars less than WCC wanted to charge. Daryl then went on to describe another irrigation post claiming it was false.
With how they verbally communicated their situation to another association who posted on Facebook that Grounds had given them a proposal that they didn't need because they had another contractor coming in and saying, your pump station is running and we don't need to replace it. And then they got a proposal for a new pump station cover, which they compared to the price of a new pump station, which is not apples to apples or oranges to oranges. But they left that out too.
Quite remarkable how you said that with a straight face. Here is a direct quote from the Post. I asked Wally to give me a quote for a new pump. The quote was $3,100, installation and labour included. The recommendation was to install a wireless rain sensor, a pump cover and enclosure only because pump is fully functional. Price $1,550, including installation and labour. So the total with installation and labour would cost total $4,650, far cry from $6,000 to $8,000 quoted by Jeffrey. Not a single word was written about comparing the cost of the pump to the cover. It was exactly as you said, comparing oranges to oranges, and your oranges were exorbitant. The outside vendors' oranges wanted to save owners money. So, who was the one who left something out and didn't tell the truth? By the way, Wally tested the pump and it was still working. When this was reported on the site, WCC then claimed they got it to work. The question is, why did it take a resident who used her initiative to get another quote with an honourable vendor who inspected the pump and showed that there was nothing wrong with it for WCC to then claim they had fixed it? Why didn't they fix it in the first place? Why were they willing to charge owners between $6,000 to $8,000 for a pump that did not need replacement? Oh wait, Daryl had an answer for that.
I want you to understand too, we're your grounds department. We're not here to rip anyone off. We're not here to give you contracts that you don't need. And directors, it's up to the directors and the boards of the specific associations as to what you want to do with the proposals that we give you. The irrigation system, the irrigation pump station may be on its last legs. It's decades old and it's not sounding so good. And it's literally falling apart. So when those are the circumstances that we think that you need to be given a new proposal for a new pump station, that's what we do. And we communicate that to you as a director and as a board. And it's your decision on what you want to do with that. And we'll help you with that. And honestly, we feel that's our job, to tell you what you need and to try and be proactive in giving you the information we need. Quite frankly, I believe if we weren't doing that, then we'd be held responsible for not doing our jobs.
Is this the same job Justin was doing when he told an association they needed to replace their elevator for $102,400, and when the director called Brower to check if it was true, he received an email it was not? That's the job you're all doing? Incurring outrageous expenses for the owners?
So I just want directly back to Facebook, and I guess it's not just all Facebook, but Facebook is where you see it, and you see it in writing. I know that people talk, and that's really where the Facebook postings come to. But again, we're here to help you. We're not here to, we're not making money on this. We have no vested interest other than doing our jobs and telling you exactly what it is that you need.
Not making money on this? No vested interest? How do you explain then that your maintenance income exceeded maintenance expenses by $168,587 in 2023? Is that income or is that bubblegum?
And when it comes to Facebook, just remember, a lot of the facts are left out in conversations. Are they saying specific lies necessarily? Well, no, not necessarily, but they're leaving a lot out. And those facts are important to know.
Yes, facts are important and they should not be left out. Why did you? Is this a case of take my advice, I'm not using it? Daryl, you're a nice guy. And it would not be fair of me to place the blame entirely on you. You have a job you need to look after. You're getting a free pass this time. Make false accusations against us again, and I won't be this nice. The next time you are asked to stand at the podium to deliver a message for your handlers, you may want to think back to what you were taught in kindergarten. Always tell the truth. People who tell the truth are so much nicer, kinder, and smarter. Just compare us to them to know that's the truth.